Steel City. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, fans, to the always exciting 3 and Out segment. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with Jay Dash. We've done about, 3 of these?
Yeah, it's so exciting. We haven't done one in 4 months.
We'll see, we build up anticipation to the next one. So people are so ready for it. They're fiending now. They need that 3 and Out. Really, it's because it's almost the off season and there's really just not a lot of stuff to talk about. So we throw something together, call it a segment, and entertain the hell out of you fans.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
Well, we're going to start with, first of all, we're going to talk about Johnny Manziel, Peyton Manning, and Cam Newton. 3 quarterbacks that are in the news. 2 of them, obviously, because they're in the Super Bowl, but they both have different stories. Johnny Manziel, if you're a football fan, you realize that this guy is just a giant douche right now. He continues to get arrested. I mean, literally, cops were searching for him via helicopter the other day because he had another incident with his girlfriend. He just can't seem to stay out of trouble. I don't get it. It makes no sense. Unless he really wants to get out of Cleveland. And then
do you know the exact situation from this last one? Like what happened? Why were they searching for him with helicopters?
Because he was riding around in a car. They couldn't find him, dude. They were searching for his car because it was reported that he beat up his girlfriend. Again.
Yeah, but now let's say you beat up your girlfriend. I know you're not going to or whatever. Are they seriously going to come search for you with helicopters?
Well, maybe after it's like the 4th time that you've done it or been arrested.
That just seems sketchy to me. Why does he get treatment of helicopters? I want helicopters when I do something wrong. You know what I mean?
I don't want any helicopters near me. I hate helicopters. I hide when I see them. Why can't this kid just get it together, though, Dash? What the hell is his problem? I mean, we differ a little bit on our, I guess, opinion on this guy. I think he was a complete waste to even draft. From what I've seen in college, I didn't need to.
You've seen what he did against your Pittsburgh Steelers this season. I know they blew the Browns out. The Browns suck, but I mean, he played pretty well. I think he's a pretty decent football player. He's not going to be a star or anything, but yeah, he's a giant douche, so he's probably never going to get that chance, really.
I mean, on the football field, he's played okay. I wouldn't give him well. I'd give him okay. The quarterback position means so much more than just completing some passes. I mean, to me, you have to be the leader of that football team in the locker room and I know he's young, but you have to be a mature individual and carry yourself. And he just seems like he keeps making the same exact mistakes over and over and over again.
Maybe he wants to, man. Maybe he was just...
It's a possibility. Would you want to play for the Browns? Because I wouldn't.
Well, you got to remember, too, he's already rich. I mean, his family is a rich family, so he does not need football at all. So maybe he's just having a little fun and being an asshole.
I mean, we both know he's an asshole. He has 2 years and around $3 million left on his deal. Would you claim him on waivers if you were an NFL GM? Because the Browns have basically,
if I was Jerry Jones, why not?
ESPN has reported that the Browns have already said that he will be released, but ESPN has been wrong a lot. So until he's actually released, I'm not going to say it's 100% guaranteed, because Jimmy Haslam, the owner of the Browns, I don't know, a little more than a week ago, said in an article I read that the relationship could be fixed.
Yeah, but then, I mean, Hugh Jackson doesn't want him, and that's the biggest part of this. Hugh Jackson, he should get his way. You bring him into this crap franchise, you know what I mean? You got to let him have some leadway to do what he wants out there to try to turn it around, because, I mean, if you bring him in and then say, you're going to keep this offense and you can't do anything about it, I mean, what chance does he have for success? There is none. So you got to let him do what he can do out there. Now, I was making fun of Hugh Jackson for that terrible game he coached against the Steelers in the playoffs, but he got this job. He deserves it, and I think they're going to give him some leadway, and I don't think Johnny Manziel is going to be on this team.
We looked real quick at some teams that we thought might pick him up on waivers, and this is the big might. It's not like we think it could happen. But Houston, Chicago, Dallas, the 49ers, and St. Louis, to me, you're just going to let him get released. I mean, because you're going to only have to sign him for a 1-year deal. I know that 2 years, $3 million isn't a lot, so you could still cut your losses or whatever. But a team that's going to bring him in, other than maybe Dallas, who I could see giving him $50 million because they're completely stupid, they're going to give him more of an incentive-laden contract where he has to keep out of trouble and, get on the field to make more money. And if he doesn't start, then he would get more closer to the minimum for his time.
Dallas is the one team that he would definitely have no chance of starting at really either, but they'll take him as a backup. They'd love that too. They love doing that kind of stuff.
what about the 49ers and Chip Kelly? I know he has Colin Kaepernick, but he has that weird deal. And, I mean, Kaepernick may not want to still be there, really, after the way he was treated last year by some of the front office and stuff in the 49ers. I do think Cap's going to play there another year. I think he'll give Chip Kelly, offense a chance 1 year before he decides whether or not he wants to leave. But Manziel, I mean, Chip Kelly's always said he'd like to coach Manziel at some point.
That would be your favorite team then, right?
Oh, man, I hate the 49ers so much now. I used to have so much respect for that organization. They were one of my favorite NFC teams. I hate Chip Kelly. This guy is an egomaniac.
You hate Colin Kaepernick. You hate Chip Kelly. You hate Johnny Manziel.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're just all garbage, and they all belong together, which is why I think Manziel should just go to San Francisco. And that
your
way,
boy Frank Gore.
just get everybody that I hate on one team, and then I can just hate that one team.
Oh, you'll find reasons to hate the other teams. Don't worry.
Maybe.
When do you not hate teams?
Well, I don't hate the Buffalo Bills.
You hated on them all season long.
Well, I'll hate on them because they suck, but I don't hate them or anything. I don't have a vendetta against them.
You like the Buffalo Bills, huh?
I'm not going to say I like them either, but I don't hate them. I mean, I hate Seattle and Russell Wilson.
Well, you love the name T-Mobile.
I
You
mean,
like Rex Ryan, huh?
he makes me laugh. He entertains me. Do I think he's a good coach? He's an idiot. He's a loudmouth moron, but he gives us content for this show at least once a week.
So Johnny Manziel, who's most likely? I'd say Dallas.
Dallas, I mean, that's pretty much what everybody's saying, too. Jerry Jones has
Really,
kind of publicly said.
I mean, who'd we say? Houston, Chicago, St. Louis. I don't think any of those teams are going to give him a shot, really, even though they could use a quarterback.
I'm hearing St. Louis is going to make a push for RG3.
I mean, that's possible.
That would be hilarious to me, considering Washington gave almost 2 years worth of good draft picks to St. Louis to be able to draft the guy. Had him for 1 good year, benched him for 2 or 3 years, and then St. Louis would end up getting him. That would be funny. Oh, I'm sorry, L.A. I keep calling him St. Louis.
Well, San Diego is still going to be San Diego, I
for
see.
1 more year, yeah.
So we'll see what happens with that.
L.A. Rams. I got to get that in my head.
Yeah, we'll say St. Louis a lot in the coming months.
Well, let's move on to the next quarterback. Peyton Manning, the giant forehead. Will he retire if he wins the Super Bowl or loses? Does it matter, do you think?
I mean, I was thinking about it. Doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, if he won a Super Bowl, you definitely got to retire, go out on top. If you lose a Super Bowl, you could say, hey, I could come back 1 more year, maybe get a chance at another Super Bowl. But the way he played this year for most of the season, I think win or lose, he could go out on top. You know what I mean? It's still going out on top if you lost this Super Bowl, in my opinion. So I'd say he'd have to retire. Look at this article, man. It came up on Fox. Look at the title of it. Peyton Manning is the worst quarterback to ever start a Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, Trent Dilfer's awesome, you know?
Did Colin Kaepernick start in a Super Bowl?
Yeah.
So, come on.
Joe
Peyton
Flacco.
Manning, dude, I would take Peyton Manning, the way he's playing right now, over a lot of quarterbacks that played in Super Bowls. I'm sorry. So, this article is horseshit.
It's garbage. I mean, Manning's arm is garbage right now. He's not going to throw the ball 60 yards downfield or anything, but he's still a field general. I mean, he's not the worst quarterback to start a Super Bowl. There were some bad quarterbacks to play in the Super Bowl, especially early in the game's existence.
And, I mean, he played well last week against the New England Patriots, a pretty good team. So, I don't know. I would take Peyton Manning at his age, the way he's playing. I mean, I bet you if he said he was going into free agency next season, I bet you there'd be 10 teams wanting to sign Peyton Manning.
See, I don't know if you got both sides of the spectrum for me. You have a team that would be on the cusp and think that they could win a Super Bowl if all they did was add a quarterback. Manning might be able to be that guy to help you.
Oh, he's not going to a bad team, I tell you that.
Well, see, I mean, he personally I don't think would, but if you were a bad team and wanted to sell tickets for a year or two, you know what I mean? You could try to bring him in. Like, obviously the Browns won't do it. I'm not saying they would, but a team like the Browns who are complete garbage, you bring somebody in like that to try to just get fans to come and build revenue and help your team out. But I think
Manning would never.
No, he'll never accept that type of.
He won't even go to that city, I bet.
No,
ever again.
Unless he's playing against them, never.
Yeah.
Or wait, he has to go to Canton when he's enshrined into the Hall of Fame.
That's the different city, though.
Yeah, but not Cleveland.
Yeah,
screw you.
He'll go to Ohio, buy some illegal fireworks or something.
He gets HGH sent to Florida, so he might go to Ohio for fireworks. I think Manning retires either way, honestly, win or lose. If he got completely blown out again somehow, he might have an inkling to try to come back, but I don't know if his body can handle another season personally, because, I mean, he took half this year off basically because he was hurt, or else I don't even think he'd be playing. If they would have tried to play him through the injury a couple more weeks, he'd ended up getting shut down for the whole season. And I'm not even completely sold on him being the better quarterback, I guess, at this point than Brock Osweiler, I want to say. I think Osweiler kind of lost the job because he wasn't playing great, and then he hurt his knee, and he wouldn't have been effective anymore. So I'm not saying Peyton's played bad, but he's just not great anymore. I think the guy's just got to retire after this. I think he has a pretty good chance at winning this football game, more than most people think. And I think it'd be a really good story if he could somehow win the game and go out on top, even if he only throws for 240 yards and, one touchdown and a pick or something. I would still consider that a win for Peyton.
Yeah, I mean,
he's got to get as many as Eli, right? At
well,
least.
In your opinion, yes, or else he will never talk to his
brother.
Oh,
yeah,
again.
That's right. He hates Eli right now because he has more Super Bowls, so he'll never speak to him again if he doesn't get to at least 2.
I tell you what, though, he did look bad at the beginning of the season, but they were still winning games. He wasn't throwing a lot of touchdowns. He was throwing a ton of picks. But, I mean, I say this about quarterbacks all the time. Since he came back, he hasn't been great. He's thrown 2 touchdowns in 2.5 games. But he's not turning the ball over, and that's the main thing, and that will give you a chance to win any game if you just don't turn the ball over. So if he could just do what he's did the past 2.5 weeks, I think they have a good shot to win this Super Bowl.
Especially with his defense.
Yeah, I mean, defense is a big part of it. If they'd have had a defense like the 49ers had or something,
right,
they wouldn't even be in the playoffs most likely.
I like Cam Newton and the Panthers, so, I mean, really, I don't care who wins the Super Bowl. I would like to see Peyton get another one. I feel so bad that the guy gets hated on for being bad in the playoffs. He's played more playoff games than I think maybe any quarterback, or at least.
I mean, you can't be that bad if you make 2 Super Bowls, correct? Now this is his 3rd?
No, he's lost 2. They lost to the Saints and the Seahawks. Was the reason.
Okay, so they lost 2. So, yeah, he could lose his 3rd Super Bowl. But there you go. So he's been to 3 Super Bowls. This is going to be the 4th Super Bowl he's been to. And you're saying he's not good in the playoffs. Well, it seems like you're pretty good to me if you make 4 Super Bowls.
Believe it. I mean,
I understand where you're coming from. He also had to face off against Tom Brady, one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. I mean, if Tom Brady never existed, Peyton Manning's probably at 8 Super Bowls. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if Brady never existed, Manning and Ben would have been winning mad Super Bowls.
Yes.
What about the 3rd guy on our tier here, Cam Newton? Can this guy ever become the face of the NFL? Why is he not in Papa John's ads? Why is it J.J. Watt and Joe Montana?
Well, I wouldn't go that far. Cam Newton is all over television. If you look, he has that one commercial where he's in a Superman outfit or something, playing pool or some crap. I don't even know what the commercial is about or whatever, but Cam Newton's all over television. But is he going to be the face of the NFL? Probably not. I mean, we were talking about race in the last segment. I think this has something to do with race. They would not make a black quarterback the face of the NFL. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I just don't see it happening.
I think the NFL is still run by a lot of rich white men who believe in a lot of old school opinions. And I mean, I think it has a lot to do with race, honestly. And I think it has a lot to do with the NFL just not wanting any one single player to be bigger than the game. They do marketing. Trust me, you see Peyton Manning and the Papa Johns and J.J. Watt. And I mean, they all do commercials, don't get me wrong. But the NFL doesn't want, Cam Newton is so popular with the young generation. He does everything right. He works hard, and then he still has fun. The NFL would rather him not dance and not do the fake selfie or not give the ball to. They don't like him making a spectacle of himself because then people start to focus more on just him than them, and that makes them nervous. All the rich old white guys, they don't like it.
Well, it seems to me they're making the game worse. I liked when Steve Smith was allowed to canoe down the frickin' field.
I don't understand why people hate on Newton. I don't get it at all. I mean, what has the guy ever done wrong, really?
Nothing.
I mean, maybe I heard a couple stories that he got in stupid trouble in college or something.
At Florida.
Yeah, and then that's why he transferred to Auburn.
Whatever. How old was he then? 17,
right,
18?
Exactly. I mean, I heard people making fun of him because he was Tim Tebow's backup in college. Tebow won 2 or 3 national championships in college. And Cam Newton has a Heisman Trophy, an NCAA championship. He has a chance to win a Super Bowl. He could be the MVP of the league this year. I mean,
and he's one of those guys like Big Ben where you can knock the hell out of him and he will never get a penalty.
Believe it.
I mean, you could hit him 20 seconds after he throws the ball and there will be no penalty.
Yeah, and it's ridiculous. It's not fair. And I'm not one of those people that like to cry or whine about that, but it's honestly not. When you get big body quarterbacks like that, they get pummeled and they just never get the calls. I mean, Ed Hockley apparently told Cam this year that he's too young to get those calls still.
Yeah.
Well, how old do you have to be to get a personal foul call? If somebody takes out your knee or targets your head, it doesn't matter if you're 22 or 32. You get the call.
But yeah, I'm in agreement with you. Cam Newton is a beast. He's a stand-up citizen. There's nothing wrong with this guy.
He doesn't shove crab legs into his crotch and try to run out of restaurants or grocery stores or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I just think people are jealous of success, and they're really jealous of people that celebrate their success. I mean, look at like rich people. Poor people hate rich people. Anybody that spends money, if you don't have money, you hate that person. Why do they get to spend all that money and I gotta sit here and... Well, I mean, Cam's worked hard his whole life to get to where he is, so he should be able to celebrate his victories and his good play because he's earned it.
Best team in the NFL this season.
Scores 45 touchdowns between throwing and running.
Just 10 picks.
They can become the fourth team to win 18 games in a season, and I think they've only lost 2 games since week 17 of the 2014 football season. Because they lost once in the playoffs, and then they lost once in the 2015 season. So those are their only 2 losses since week 17 of 2014 NFL football season. Crazy.
Yeah, and it shows you how much an offensive line means, really.
Believe it.
I mean, you can see the difference from last season to this season. And when you have a beast quarterback, it doesn't mean you're going to win. If you protect them, you got a great chance.
I'm taking out the 30-year-olds, your Brady's, Breeze, Roethlisberger, stuff like that. Is Cam the guy you would pick as your quarterback to start a franchise right now? If you're an expansion team and, somehow you could get him.
Things change from season to season. Next year, he may be an okay quarterback. You don't know, but you have to go from the last thing you've seen. And right now, Cam Newton, I mean, you can give me those 30-year-olds. Right now, Cam Newton would still be the guy. I don't want Tom Brady in his final 3 years. You know what I mean? I'd rather have Cam Newton in his final 15 years.
I agree. I think I was hard on Cam. I didn't think he'd become a passer like he has. He's just great at, the one thing you could say he might be able to work on is trying to read a defense a little bit. I'm not saying he's bad at it, but it's just something that gets better with age, just naturally, But, he has the strong arm. He has an accurate arm. He works well in the pocket. He works well out of the pocket. He can run you over. They're the best 3rd and 4th and short team in the NFL because Cam Newton is basically a running back. Their offense, the Panthers' offense versus another team's defense, is really one of the few pure 11-on-11 matchups. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times your quarterback, he might be able to throw and stuff, but he's not necessarily the most athletic guy in the world. Cam Newton is. He's a tight end that throws like Joe Montana. So I think this guy's the total package. I'd take him too, honestly.
Over Colin Kaepernick and Johnny Manziel.
Ugh.
I think Cam Newton is the one running quarterback that when his legs don't do what they can do right now, he's still going to be a good quarterback.
I agree. Because he's working on those points of his game already. And he's already become a better passer.
That's it.
Yeah, I got nothing else.
Which one of these 3 quarterbacks are the best? Manziel, Manning, or
I might
Cam
go
Newton?
with Johnny. Oh, wait, Cam Newton. Manziel's garbage. I don't even think this dude's going to be in the league in 3 more years. Manziel.
It's possible. You got to get his head on straight before anything, though.
He's an idiot. Who will be out of the league first, Manziel or Peyton? It could be Manziel.
They may tie.
They may. But that's all we got for you, fans. Thanks for tuning in, Dash. Thanks for coming in studio. Fans, you can follow us on Twitter at bet_the_spread. Follow me on Twitter at betjimthewin. Let us know what you think. Keep coming back to Facebook at facebook.com/betthespread. If you're interested in any Steelers salary cap free agency, we've been posting some pictures, some tables, help you get going on that. We'll get more in depth on that after the combine and once free agency starts in March. Oh, yeah, and come to our YouTube page and click subscribe.
Blue Rooster.
Oh, yeah, I'm Blue Rooster. Man, we got a lot of stuff to say at the end of these podcasts.
That's why you got to spread it out, man. You got to do it throughout the segment. Nobody's listening right now anyways.
I'm listening.
I could drop the F-bomb and not edit it out.
Why not?